It's 9:00 now Eastern. And it's time for Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks. And was there a reason for this fucking match except they're going to have a tag team title match this weekend with their various partners?
Well, that does set up that match. And I guess technically on TV the last several weeks, they were on opposite sides of problems because he confronted the Don Callis family. Don Callis's family, because they're heels and Ricky Starks and Big Bill were heels, they were on the same team. It makes some sense.
Yeah. All right, well, and they did it at 9:00, and I think what Tony overlooked is that nobody gives a shit about Sammy Guevara anymore. Because in this one, I mean, they like Starks, and they popped on the big moves, but even in the hometown crowd there was a lot of silence here, I noticed, because I tried to watch this. But basically, a popular heel and an unpopular babyface, and so Sammy beat him flat in 10 minutes with a super kick and a jackknife. 1, 2, 3. Starks has got to be fucking chomping at the bit and biting his fingernails to get the fuck out of there.
Well, someone told me he has a long-term deal. I hope not. I hope that's not true, but someone who knows this kind of stuff told me that he'll be there for a while, which is sad. Makes me really sad to hear that.
Is there no chance of parole? Possibly an appeal to the governor?
What's he going to do? Punch Sammy in the face? That doesn't work.
There you go.
Doesn't work?
It doesn't work. Well, maybe if he punches somebody else. They all want to punch
Jungle
Sammy.
Boy.
There you go. That's a proven.
That's a proven. You punch Sammy.
Yeah.
You stay on another year. You punch Jungle Boy. You go home. That's why Jungle Boy hasn't been there. They're afraid there's going to be a line of people waiting to punch him as soon as he reappears at the show. I've been looking to get out of this deal for a while. Come here, Jack.
Yeah, one of them brings a slapjack. The other one has a fucking billy club.
That's his nickname, Slapjack.
Slapjack. I thought that was switch
Perry.
hitter, light switch, slingshot,
Snack Stop,
Wingstop Jay White.
Ah.
All right, we're back to this. So Sammy beats him flat in the middle, 1, 2, 3. And then he shakes Starks' hand, and Big Bill comes in and jumps Sammy from behind, and they get a soupçon of heat on young Sammy. And then Jericho's music hits. So loud, they probably blew the goddamn bass out of the speakers in Daly's place. And Jericho hits and makes a comeback, and it was like New Jack at ECW. The music is loud, and it's up, and it keeps going, and they get in a big four-way, and they have a sloppy, poorly shot four-way brawl throughout the arena, bouncing each other off the back wall and etc. to obviously hype their big tag team title match on Saturday night's Battle of the Belts, which apparently will take place right after Collision. So you're going to have dinner and then have dinner. And I mean, they obviously kept the music up so you couldn't hear the response that they were at least anticipating Jericho would get. I'm not sure what he got because the music was so fucking loud. On the close-ups, the people that were around him seemed to want to high-five him, but those are the kind of people that would high-five Herman Goering if he walked by. So, can they play the music through the whole match on Saturday night?
I don't know. I mean, it's Battle of the Belts. He better wear a belt. He's Judas in his pants. Look, this thing has to be addressed. They have to say what's up. They can't do this. He's not fucking New Jack. He's not New Jack. New Jack didn't look like Amy Schumer. So you can have Jericho.
No, wait a minute. Amy Schumer's hot. Come on.
Well, let's not go crazy now. But you have Jericho come out there.
I haven't seen her in a few years.
Here's the problem. They played his music really loud throughout the whole thing, and every single person who saw that said they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for a reason, to drown out the boos. Whether they expected him, or whether they heard a little bit and decided to just play it. No, this is, a premeditated thing. This is a strategy. Play this thing really loud throughout the whole thing. They can't do this every week. They have to address this one way or the other. And they could shut it down really easily by saying there's nothing there. And they won't. So this is a problem. Jericho's been silent on Twitter, apparently. That's what people are saying. I'm blocked again. So I can't even check. He unblocked me for a while.
I forgot to look. I don't ever pay attention.
At some point, he unblocked me because I was able to respond to him the last time he acted stupid, and then he blocked me again. So I really don't know what causes him to do things. But this ain't going away. And they got to address it. You got to address it. He has a lot of time left on that contract. And he doesn't do himself any favors. You got to address this one way or the other. Otherwise, you're going to have a real problem. And right now, you need to do everything you can to get your fan base engaged and happy and not focusing on drama. Because every single week, whether it's a pay-per-view overshadowed by drama or drama that happens on social media, in many cases led by Tony, that overshadows the show.
Now, be fair, this show is easily overshadowed.
But it's every week. Again, it's every single week. The chatter online is about Tony's behavior, and then anything you see on the show, people respond to it in the context of what Tony had said. He's affecting the way people watch his show, and then he puts on a bad show. And then he denies it and says it's great because other fans who are on the same message boards as him for the last 25 years think it's great.
And then when he's trying to build his brand new heavyweight champion, he complicates the issue by inserting a young rookie who we barely ever see, who never speaks, into a fucking world title match to get even with the people on Twitter.
Well, talking about his world champion, his first world champion was Chris Jericho. What do? You can't do this every week. What are you going to do now with Chris Jericho?
Well, here's the problem. What you may need to do might not be palatable to do because like you said, you need to address the situation, and it would be easy for him to issue a public statement that there was absolutely nothing to these allegations or accusations, except if there's something to these allegations or accusations, or maybe it's his own fault. If they signed an NDA, maybe they're not allowed to talk about it either. Did he sign a frivolous NDA for frivolous reasons? Could Chris Jericho be defended by Tony Khan? If he hadn't signed his NDA, well, then he's an idiot. And then Jericho would be going, hey, what the fuck? Defend me. Well, I signed an NDA. It's your own fucking NDA.
Well, whose NDA is it? Is it Chris Jericho's NDA or Tony Khan's NDA? And here's an easy way around it. If Tony Khan said, I will release anyone from an NDA that has anything to do with sexual harassment amongst talent, that ends the story. That ends it right there. Why? I mean, they're blowing it with how to handle this. And it gets to the point where you're like, the only reason to blow the way you're handling this is if there's something there. They're leading people to think there's something there by not saying that's ridiculous. Of course
Tony
not.
will speak at length. We've heard that at length on things that he wants to talk about. But on the things that he doesn't want to talk about, he will go to equal lengths to not speak about them. So why don't he want to talk about this? That's it. There you go.
No more lectures about other people having bad faith arguments about AEW until you can be fucking honest with your fans and the wrestling fans out there about what's going on. You don't get to say anyone else has a bad faith take on AEW. Everyone else has a good faith take. You're dishonest with the fans, or you're obfuscating and not saying what's there. You're your own worst enemy. It's ridiculous.
You know, if they did sign something, if whoever signed something, and it was me, I would say, if they just signed something to get her to go away, they didn't believe that there was anything to it, or it was a minor incident, or, no, but just, we get the girl to go away and not complain because we're starting this company or whatever, but nothing major or serious, was wrong here. I sympathize with Jericho. Then I'd come out and say that. I would say, look, I heard the story and I didn't think there was anything fucking wrong that called for drastic measures. And we had everybody sign something and I made young lady happy and everybody went their separate ways. Be honest with that. Unless you just, like everything else that happens, you took somebody's word that was involved in it that you liked for what actually happened. And if there was more to it, then you can't defend that. But who knows what the fuck goes through Tony's mind.
The other way to say it is, if something's going on with Chris Jericho, it doesn't involve me or my company. And I'm not trying to put Chris out there. He has to answer this, but it isn't our issue. It's something with him. But if it's a company thing, that changes everything. Because I'm assuming the talent didn't leave with 2 NDAs. One for Jericho, one for AEW. I'm assuming that if this story is true, or if there's any talent that left for an NDA, it's one NDA. It's a company-wide NDA, which would, they probably would argue, be an umbrella that would cover their talent. This isn't going to go away. They got to address this. Tony can't just tell everyone how great everything is.